I think you need to start
Okay. Yeah.
recording, Zoom recording.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Apologies for the delay. As usual, we'll have always technical issues. The more techno-savvy we become, we'll have more issues like this. We are very fortunate to have very, amazing speakers today for today's session. They have a wealth of knowledge and a lot of experience. I probably will not be able to do justice to introduce them. So that's why I'm requesting Aditi first to introduce yourself and then Rajiv sir to introduce yourself as well. Okay, so over to you, Aditi.
Hi, Girish. Thank you. And all this glitch and all. That's why I said Saturn day, 26 number, but that's it. We are late, but and it's not denied. My name is Aditi Sharma, and I'm an IT engineer and astrologer and life coach. We had one podcast before, and we are again with public demand. We are together again discussing astrology. I wanted to introduce special guest Rajiv Nath sir. So he is my KP teacher, and he has ample amount of experience in astrology, and his KP predictions and all Vedic predictions has gone almost right all the time. So I wanted to give him the chance to come and describe and introduce himself. Rajiv sir.
Namaskar. My name is Rajiv Nath, and I'm sorry. We are all sorry for the delay, and maybe because of it's Saturday, as Aditi said, and Shani, as you know, much spoken about Saturn in Pisces, along with in conjunction with Rahu. So, ho sakta hai, that could be one of the reasons, and I guess it is in fact. So anyway, see now I'm introducing myself. I'm a retired banker and retired way back in 2013. And after that, I'm sort of almost full time into astrology. Astrology was it was a childhood passion for me. And I always wanted to learn astrology. But in our times, there were no teachers and there were no platforms like YouTube that you have now. They were only books. And just by reading books, you couldn't become an astrologer. It was so difficult. So we really struggled initially when I wanted to learn astrology. Of course, that was I'm talking way back about, in 1980s. I got into astrology seriously only in 1990 because before that I really struggled to pick it up. But anyway, luckily I found somebody, who sort of guided me. And then I started with my astrology. In our days, there were no computers. We had to do everything manually. And initially, I'll tell you my experience with astrology. 2, 3 years, I did Vedic Parashri astrology. And then I got so confused and it was so muddled up that I was sort of going to give it up because I found, that even after spending so much of time, energy, money, when it came to predictions, sort of I was lost. You couldn't make predictions. I was about to give it up, and then suddenly one day I was in a bookshop and I saw this book called Transit. And I was looking for a book on transits, Gochar as we call in Hindi. I saw this book, Transit, and I took it, and there I discovered something that we known as KP astrology. Now, of course, it's a household word, KP amongst astrologers, and most people know they know what KP astrology is. But when I started learning astrology, and especially in northern India, North India, nobody had heard of KP astrology. But then I got this book and I discovered that it was a whole, it was entirely something new. And then I started, and then I bought all the books on KP astrology, and then it opened up just new horizons and new vistas, and I was so fascinated my KP astrology. And as we go along in this podcast, we'll talk more about it and how fascinating and how accurate it is that I was able to. Not that, I'm sort of discrediting Parashri or Vedic astrology. Later on, after, having studied KP astrology in depth, then later I discovered also a Paddhati in Vedic astrology, which now I follow, known as the systems approach by Dr. V.K. Chaudhary. And that is what I follow. And then I will not use the word mastered that, but I got into it, and I learned it. And now I practice both Vedic astrology as well as KP astrology. And the predictions mostly are stunningly accurate. Okay. I will not say they are 100%, but yes, almost you can say 95% of accuracy is definitely there. And I have, to my credit, a number of predictions that I did make, especially in mundane astrology, regarding, regarding fall of governments, formation of governments, winning of elections, etc., etc. I have it all documented. And now, of course, I run my own. I'm into teaching astrology. Okay, I have my own YouTube channel, and I teach students, and I have taught so many batches of both Vedic and KP. So that's about it. That's about myself. And as we go along, you know, now I give it back to Girish. Let him take it from here, and
Yeah,
let's
thank you,
see.
sir. We are very blessed to
Of
have you
course.
on this call today. And, as just wanted to get Aditi, how did you connect with Rajiv, sir? If you can share the background, that will be also interesting to know.
So basically, Girish, I am into astrology for a while. As I said before, it was so fascinating for me to see that how events unfold with each time, with each year, with each transit, with change of every dasha and other dasha. I can see events unfolding in my life. And I was in Vedic astrology for a while, and then I started inquiring about Krishna Paddhati, KP astrology, where um, my concern was like the same concern, like how it is possible that people born at same time, same place. I was giving example to Rajiv sir, like when Mukesh Ambani is born, there must be someone born in the same hospital, same time, and still the life journey is different. So that was my inquiry, and then the KP astrology was attracting me in a way to where within means our minutes, our lords, sublords are changing, and that is changing the whole life journey and life path. So then someone referred me to his name, and then that is the way I went. I contacted him, and we had a KP astrology session where we had taken a live charts where we saw how a change of sublot has changed the life journey, even with the case of twins, and having a same sublot, how the life journey also was quite similar for two people. So that is the way how I reached out to sir, and we had really good classes there, and I strongly recommend him if anyone want to learn KP or Vedic astrology. Now he started Vedic astrology classes as well, Girish.
Thank you, Aditi. Because I met Rajiv sir also through you, I've also started my classes with him. So that's good. So, sir, Aditi, and probably then you can pass it on to Rajiv sir as well. So, what is astrology? Why is it important for people to get some astrological advice, when they're making decisions in their life? If you can, throw some light, because a lot of people say that I don't believe in astrology and all those things. So, what is your advice to them? You want to
So
start off, Aditi?
So Girish, the I always say this, it's the problem is not astrology, problem is astrologers. So now the astrology and the astrologers has created a fear-mongering way of making people making that, see, as the anxiety is increasing in this world, depression, anxiety is increasing because of various reasons like the insecurity we have, job insecurity, relationship insecurity. So astrologers has got a chance to gain money out of it by giving you a fear about your future. So the problem, if you see this astrology, it is in our Vedic sutra. So it is in our Vedas. It's been mentioned there that how our life journey is already been scripted, where you have only a will to change some of it, but the couple of circumstances coming in front of you will are almost defined. So here there the astrology helps us to understand like what is my life journey. So I am in my life journey, I might not be born to have a good marriage or not born to have a good children. I don't know how my life journey will unfold. So astrology helps us to understand like, this is your life journey. So once see any situation come in your life, you go through three phases. One is acceptance, then change, and then you grow out of it. So astrology helps you to have that acceptance phase easily come to you when you know what is going to unfold. So it's important. That's why in previous we also have like Varshfal, where they people used to go to astrologer and ask how their year will be, and they have to be ready for all these incidents, which used to help them to accept it when the things are coming. It's not a shocking for them. So it is very important for you to have astrology advice, not in a fear mongering way, the way business astrology has started, but in a more, I say, spiritual way in understanding your journey. Rajiv sir can also add in that. What does he feel in this? Because we keep having this discussion, sir. You can add something to this.
Yeah, so why astrology should be useful for you. For starters, I'll say that actually all of us, whoever is watching or not watching, we should know at least the basics of astrology. It helps us, it'll help you out. In fact, with the advanced tools that we have, especially in KP astrology, it'll help you out. In fact, you can sort of not exactly predict, but you can get an idea of, on a day-to-day basis also. In fact, you can gauge how your day is going to be. Astrology could be, that accurate and that important in your life. Of course, I mean, in the sense that first you need to get an overall overall what sort of a phase are you passing through, your dashas, your mahadasha, your antardasha, your pratyantar dasha. What if you have that knowledge of astrology, you know what you are in for, what your how your life is going to be over the next few years maybe, or even over the next few months. And then in consonance with that, keeping that in mind and in the background, then you can, in fact, you can see your daily chart also. Your daily chart by way of transit. Not that it's very easy, but then of course they come, there will come a time in your life when you need to sort of monitor your life on a regular and on a daily basis. So that's where astrology can actually help you out. And well, should I continue, or you want to ask something else, Girish?
Yeah, just on that note, how can they reduce the impact or malefic planets and all those things? So if you want to share on that,
Yeah,
what is
that we'll come
inevitable?
to. We'll come to that. That becomes a part of, that becomes a part of your horoscope, your karma, and then the remedial part. But I just wanted to give you an insight into what astrology, especially KP astrology.
Okay.
I have a, if I can share a screen with you,
Yeah.
okay, like Aditi said, what what Krishnamurti ji did was he of course, the basis for all astrology, schools of astrology, or the various paddhatis of astrology that we are studying, the basis is Vedic astrology.
Mm.
In Vedic Indian astrology, or you call it Parashvi astrology. And Krishnamurti, KP Krishnamurti Paddhati is also an offshoot of that. So what happened was, Krishnamurti ji said, okay, certain things he was not getting right. Okay. He studied Vedic astrology and he was not sort of satisfied. And then when it came to twins, like Aditi spoke just now, some twins, I have an example I'll show you also. Some twins, they lead very similar lives. Okay. They do similar jobs and they even, they'll fall sick at the same time and they die also at the same time. I have a very stunning example which I show you. But at the same time, twins born, apart by say about 5 to 10 minutes, they have completely different lives. One lives a pauper and one, I will not say becomes a Mukesh Ambani, but one leads a good, comfortable life. So how can that happen? You see, if you put both the charts side by side and both prima facie, they'll appear, 5 to 10 minutes gap that both the horoscopes will look the same. You will not be able to, make it, you will not be able to find any difference. That's where Krishnamurti ji said, now, why does this happen? Why two twins, born 10 minutes apart, they lead completely different lives. So then he, through that, he developed what we call Krishnamurti Paddhati and the sublord theory. Sublord theory, which, with every passing 2, 3, 4 minutes, the sublords change. The sublords of your, that's highly technical. I mean, most people watching me would not know what I'm trying to convey. But what I'm trying to convey is, 5 to 10 minutes of birth time change in birth time can, people born in the same hospital, in the same room, with a difference of 5 minutes to 10 minutes apart, they can have totally different destinies. And that is what Krishnamurti KP proved. Krishnamurti, and that is how KP, and then he went on, and then KP is so accurate, especially of course, as I said, in this natal chart where Janam Patri, what we call, if the time in KP is not, dot on, dot correct, then maybe, your predictions may go haywire. But then he also then, what Krishnamurti ji did, what he discovered or invented, however you want to put it, something called horary astrology, Prashna Paddhati, okay, wherein a number, you ask for a number, and that is almost, I will not say 100% correct, but yes, the rate of correct predictions is definitely 90 plus, it goes up to 95%. For the gray area of 5%, there are so many things responsible. There are outer planets at play, okay, which we don't take into consideration. In fact, Krishnamurti ji had started his research on the outer planets, Neptune, Uranus and Pluto, but I don't know, I somehow God, you didn't want him to, let him finish his research, so he left us. Otherwise, had he lived on for another 10 years, then KP would have been even more, accurate, and we would have got so many other tools, additional tools in KP to take it further. So that's, it's very accurate. Now, not that as I said, I'm not discrediting Parashari or Vedic. Even in Vedic astrology, a twin chart, you figure out. But then the tools are so difficult, you have to get into the divisional charts. And that is, for every aspect of life, there is a separate divisional chart. So that is what Krishnamurti Paddhati did away with. In Krishnamurti Paddhati, you don't need the divisional charts for everything to see marriage. You don't need a D9, okay? And similarly for, for education, you don't need a separate divisional chart. In Krishnamurti, in KP, Krishnamurti Paddhati, everything is the sublord theory. That's too technical for your viewers, but that's about it. Yes, Girish, please.
Yeah, so what is there are, I think, one we understand now the Vedic and then the Krishnamurti Paddhati, but, there are, I think, Nadi astrology and all those things. Anything you want to share on that, sir?
Yeah, see, these are all, Nadi astrology, strictly speaking. Now people are learning BN and Bhrigu Nandi Nadi. The Nadi astrology is, that you must have heard, it's almost a lost art now. You know uh, those
Leaflets.
your past and present and future written on palm leaves
Um,
in south of India, I think Kerala, that has not been passed on, to our generation in totality. So from what I know, that those palm readers, those palm leaf readers, they are able to tell you the past, but when it comes to future,
mm,
I don't know, they fail miserably. This is what I have heard. This is what Krishnamurti ji also writes in his books. And then there is Gemini. There are so many, but if the astrologer is, if the astrologer is skillful, if the astrologer has knowledge, no matter, irrespective of the paddhati that he is using, the predictions will come correct.
yeah.
See, I have put some videos on YouTube where I have used the same chart, same birth chart, and I have come to the same predictions using Vedic or using KP.
Okay.
The predictions are the same. I have so many videos on YouTube. You can go and check them out. I can't, list them out right here because I have more than 500 videos on YouTube. But then whichever paddhati you choose to, you stick to it. And but yeah, and just before you know, the two basic paddhatis that I would urge all of you, the aspiring astrologers, to learn is the systems approach of Vedic astrology and Krishnamurti Paddhati. If you want to go beyond that, then you can learn BNN. So many other things. You can learn Gemini, but I don't think you need to, but because then you spend your lifetime just learning. So when are you going to practice and predict?
Yeah.
That's the way I look at it.
Yeah. So I think a question for you both, Aditi and sir. Is it
Yeah,
necessary
okay,
for? uh,
Girish, if I am interrupting. I told the viewers that I'm going to show them a chart.
okay.
Just
Yeah.
just 1 second, okay?
Yeah.
I'll just share this chart with you.
Yeah.
So I hope you all can see this chart. See, this is
We are seeing a newspaper article, sir.
Yeah, yeah.
this is a newspaper article,
Okay.
the chart of twins. Okay, art of twins. And now I don't have the time. This was out, this was in the papers. And if you can see, Gregory Raymond Raffle remembers the day. They, in short, I will not read out the whole thing, that will consume a lot of time. These were twins. This is a merit story. Okay. They were born apart, must have been within 2-3 minutes because they led such similar lives. That's what Krishnamurti ji said, that if the sublord at birth is the same of two people, born together, then they will live similar lives. So these two, they studied the same thing, they became engineers. If you read this article, and most importantly, both died on the same day. Both died on the same day. 1 second. I'll just read it out. Okay. Raymond Raffle remembers the day clearly. April 23rd, 1997. The delivery, doctors said, had been successful and his wife, Soja, was fine. Heart beating with joy, he rushed to the hospital. The baby's twins looked exactly alike. The young parents, named Joyfred Verghese Gregory and Ralfred George Gregory, having lived a life where they did almost everything together, both chose computer engineering. Both chose computer engineering. Both had jobs in Hyderabad. They caught the deadly fever the same day. This is COVID, April 24, last week. After struggling with COVID, they died together hours after one another. Raphael said he almost knew that if his sons had to make it, they would come home together or they wouldn't. Whatever happened to one, it happened to the other, he said. So this is a story. This happened in Meerut. Okay. So this I just wanted to, I'll stop it now. You can, yeah, sorry. Girish, carry
Yeah,
on, please.
I think, so another question which comes out is like, ordinary people, is it necessary for them to know the basics? And if they want to, somebody wants to go about learning, you already mentioned about those two approaches, like the systematic approach and the KP methodology of learning. So what would you suggest, sir, for ordinary people to know about the basics? Why should they be aware of the basics of astrology?
Yeah, as I told you, basics. We should be aware about the basics because it helps you out with your life. What why do we look after our why do doctors say take proper food? This is all preemptive.
Mm.
Astrology can act as it can act as a preemptive medicine, especially if bad times are coming. Why not know about it in
Mm.
advance?
Prepare yourself.
If
Yeah.
you know, even you don't need to know astrology in great detail. Even if you know the basics up to a certain level, or maybe advanced up to a certain level, you know which mahadasha of yours is coming, or which mahadasha you are going through, and which antardasha is starting tomorrow, and it will last for 2.5 years. So how those 2.5 years are going to be, and
Yeah.
what precautions I have to take. I say this because some people say that your horoscope, it's your total destiny, and you can't do anything about it. Well, that's not true. Let
Mm.
me tell the audience that your horoscope is it's a report card of your past karma, of your past life. Okay, whatever you did in your past life, good or bad deeds, you have to, you lived that life, and whatever karma remained, you know if you did bad deeds, you get a bad horoscope. Okay, let's put it that way, in a layman's language. If you did good deeds, if you helped the poor, if you were kind hearted, you'll have a good horoscope.
Mm.
If you lived a bad life, an evil life, you have to pay for that in this life. And so you are born with that horoscope. But then it is not total destiny. That is your past karma, and the remedial measures that we talk about or that we prescribe. Remedial measures can be so many things. They can be gemstones. Okay, they can be gemstones. They can be prayers. They can be mantras. Okay, so many things.
Donation.
Remedial measures are nothing. And charities, most importantly. What is charity? It is a good deed. Okay, you are helping the poor, or you are helping mankind or the animal kind. So what you are doing is you're redeeming your past karma. That is, and very simple remedies like feeding birds with some sweets, etc., etc., they really work. People don't take it seriously. You don't need to spend a lot of money on remedies. They're very simple remedies which come free of cost also,
Mm.
and they are very, very effective and very, very helpful.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Aditi, you want to add anything to that, or?
No, sir, nicely presented, Rajiv sir. I want to add that it is said that we as a human being will not understand the value of God or understand we don't feel the compassion for others until and unless we go through suffering. So whenever we go through suffering, we go through bad time, we reach out to people to understand how we can resolve it. And when if you come to astrologer, a good astrologer will suggest you to do a donation to feed the birds or to do something good for poor people. So because when you are suffering, then you are understanding pain of other people. So we are actually asking you to do good karma so that we can mitigate the bad thing which is been because of your past life karmas. So this is how the world works. The more suffering you are, the more you are getting closer to God. So I'm not saying people should suffer, but this is how we are been built, or this is how our as human being goes through this to go and do good deeds. So when if you know your bad time is around, first thing is you are prepared.
Mm.
Second thing is you are started doing good deeds, been has been suggested by astrologer. Definitely your planet which is causing problem to you, whether it's Antardasha, Mahadasha, is going to mitigate the bad things in your life. You will be blessed by divine. So those output which comes, that is all divine intervention. No one can be sure that we have seen example where we saw that the dasha will be too bad for the person, but it has gone through in a very balanced way, because he was all the time on those time was doing selfless seva. He was doing something really good during that time, which was helping him either face that consequences or mitigate the consequences. So we should know some astrology, and we should do remedies. So any yantra remedy or any stone remedy, if you anyone want to show their chart and want to consult sir or me, and they are going through really bad time, we can have remedies for those and can help them, pass those time.
Thank you, Aditi. I think, yeah, encouraging all the viewers to reach out to you both in case they have so many challenges, or if they want to get some general idea, or if they want to learn astrology as well. So, Aditi, staying with you, like Gunamilan, or matching the horoscopes. you know why are people splitting up, or getting divorced and all those things, in spite of them having gone through that matching, and then getting married and all those. So anything you want to share on that?
So Girish, anyone going for a marriage only with the base of Gun Milan is not a right thing to do. See, there was a time where our roles were defined, right? A man has a specific role, women has a specific role, and our society was working like that. And those were the time when Gun Milan used to work on. There were so many other things other than astrology which used to work. Suppose was like seeing the family, like how the family is, and we used to think like the children of this family will also be according to their parents. Now that doesn't work. Children are staying away from their parents, and the how much good upbringing is there, children are taking or absorbing many other things when they are staying away. So only on the basis of Gun Milan is not working now. That has many reasons. Astrology is need to be evolved, and we as a person has evolved in our charts. We don't do a Gun Milan. If someone come to me and say I want to marry this guy and girl, the first thing I see their charts individually, and I see if the promise of good marriage is there or not for them, each of them individually. And the first question I ask them is, do you want to get married? Because there are people who come with their pressure of their parents, like you are 30, you are this age, you need to get married. So I ask them, do you want to get married? So many times some people say that no, I don't want to get married, it's my mom who want me to get married. So there, the whole funda of basic thing is not clear. Now if you
True.
put that person in a marriage and saying blaming a Gun Milan, so you that person is not ready to take the responsibility. So I'm not saying he won't be ready in couple of years, he might be ready. So the basic thing to understand is the person is ready to get married. Second thing is there individual charts promise a good marriage? And the Saturn, which we were discussing, is exalted in the Rashi of relationship, which is seventh Rashi, right? So why have we ever thought why Saturn is exalted in Libra? Because Saturn says you have to keep putting efforts in your marriage each and every day. The romance will go out. You may not like your spouse in some days, but just like a duty, Saturn also signify duty, you have to keep putting efforts in your marriage. Now if you ask in this generation, today's generation, anything which is not giving them pleasure, they tend to just be out of it, right? So now if you say Gun Milan is not working, is our have we evolved according to our generation? No. So we firstly promise of marriage, good marriage, person is ready to put the 100% responsibility in the marriage. Is the person taking this marriage as a duty? We need to analyze everything before we come to our conclusion. So we check now Mars chart particularly, which is a chart for marriage, happiness of marriage in fourth house of now Mars chart we see. And Karyakartas we say Jupiter, Venus, we see whether it is afflicted or how it is been in the chart. And the whole it is a big analysis of chart, which takes a lot of time before we say. And the dasha, suppose everything is good, your mahadasha coming is not good, so you cannot blame marriage in that time. So that means the divine power asking you to go through that bad dasha together and become a stronger person together. And if that dasha pass, you will feel your same partner, you will start liking that partner. It is about timing. So we do a lot of analysis before to come to any conclusion, Girish.
And I'll just, pick up from just what Aditi said just now. See, in astrology also there's something called Desh Kal Patra, what we call, even the planetary positions these days, they in the charts that come to us for marriage, for predicting whether marriage is going to take place or not. See, one thing that is very, very noticeable and which stands out is I've seen so many charts where, girls have not, they're not getting married. And so earlier, it was difficult for us to decipher what's happening. So Desh Kal Patra, even when a marriage is promised and maybe not a very happy marriage is promised, earlier, you see, like what did Krishnamurti ji say? That if in your chart, if 2, 7, 11, the seventh cuspal, this is technical, but just, by way of passing, seventh cuspal sublord, it signifies marriage. Marriage will take place. I have come across charts now where the seventh cuspal sublord is signifying marriage, but see, what we were not seeing earlier was, when earlier in our times, when we were young and our generation, our parents, they fixed up our marriages and they said, okay, son, okay, daughter, now your marriage has been fixed up. And the ward said, okay, dad, mom, go ahead. Now, now this is not the case. They didn't have any say. The marriage fixed, it took place. Nowadays, what is happening is whenever a chart comes to me, or comes to me for, to predict whether marriage is going to happen or marriage is denied, what invariably I have noted is where, that girls or boys who are 40 plus and not getting married, see the will and the wish to get married is not there. There's a particular combination for seeing that does not exist in the chart. So how does the marriage therefore does not take place? So Desh, Kal, Patra, everything, Now this may be in the Indian society, this is now happening. I'm not sure what used to happen in the Western societies earlier. I guess there also the parents didn't have a very big, they didn't have a very big say in the children's marriage. But in India now, this is what is happening. And that is very evident. So Desh is your surroundings, the place where you live. Kal is the times and Patra is the character, the native. So when predicting, you have to keep Desh, Kal, Patra also in mind.
Yeah.
And another thing that I would like to, by the way, Aditi she is a very good Vedic astrologer, okay? And now, of course, a KP astrologer also. Whenever, a chart is presented for matching. Now we don't that concept of matching the 36 gunas, that is out of window. We don't do it anymore. The first thing that you have to see is the longevity of the natives. First of all, whether longevity is there, whether the girl or the boy, they have long enough lives to see them through the marriage, their health, okay, and then their individual destinies, their characters, their attitudes, and whether or not, Aditi has already mentioned it, both of them have happily married lives. So that is very important. Okay.
Thank you both. I think we are just going through the member questions which have already been submitted. So people who just are aware of that. And since one of the question is like, since planets are always moving, why is their position at native's birth considered important? I think you've been talking about the birth time rectification and all those
Yeah,
things,
that I
sir. But
guess
yeah,
I've already answered,
uh,
that the you know what a transit is. The planets are moving. And as I said, your birth chart, it's your destiny is dynamic. The birth
mm,
chart is static. but the destiny is dynamic. That destiny depends on the karma that you perform.
Yeah.
That is why it's important, to show your chart to an astrologer and see what is written in your chart and how you can, if there is a misery, okay, if there's a bad incident, you can't negate it, okay?
Mm.
You can mitigate it through remedial measures. And if there's something good and nice to happen, then you can increase the happy impact of that. So that is what can be done. So that,
Yeah,
I
I think.
guess, I
Yeah,
will.
so you're saying that the ascendant or the point of the birth or time of the birth is very
Oh, there are
important
so
to.
many. There are so many combinations.
Yeah.
There are so many combinations for every aspect of life. For a happy married life, for your finances, for your bank account, and your overall destiny. Then there, there, there are your domestic peace, your mental state, your health. There are so many combinations.
Yeah.
Just
So,
to add, Girish, so here the transit thing comes. So how it is dynamic. Suppose if I have a destiny of changing my job, like totally changing 180-degree, like from IT I become astrologer. So Saturn and Jupiter has to bless that event through the transit. So if Saturn will touch my 10th lord, transit over my 10th lord, then only my anything 10th lord is for the careers. So then only anything change in my career will happen. So there where it become dynamic, right? So this Saturn has transited into Pisces in conjunction with Rahu. In these 2 months was close conjunction, and Sir will show the show chart as well. So the event has unfolded now as per the transit. The chart will remain
Yeah.
static, but
mm,
the dynamic work will happen according to transit. So, sir,
Yeah.
if you
So
want to show that Indian chart,
that I'll
yeah.
show the Indian chart,
Yeah.
just to sort of, the uh, viewers may not understand what I'm going to be. It's going to be highly technical, but just to explain. This is a part of mundane astrology. I think you have a question also, where why the bad incidents or the bad events going to take place are not predicted. They
Yeah.
are, okay, and of course you have to keep track of. Astrology is a big world. There are so many astrologers who specialize in mundane astrology also. I'll show you the, if the viewers want, I'll just take 2 minutes and show you the
Yeah. 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 Sure,
chart
sir.
of India. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll share it with you, and whatever is happening or happened just 3-4 days back, I'll try, and it'll be technical, but I'll try, and just give me a second.
Yeah, we are able to see your screen, sir.
Can you see the screen?
Yeah. Yeah.
This is the birth chart for this is the birth
India.
chart for India. Okay, and I've opened the transit chart straight away. Okay, the transit chart, as you can say, India is the Lagna is Taurus, okay? And for Taurus bonds, like I am also a Taurus, there are three planets which are supposed to be evil planets,
Mm.
okay? One is Mars, the other is Jupiter, and the third one is Venus, okay? And Rahu and Ketu, they are sort of, they have to be treated separately, but as their karak tattva, in conjunction, they tend to become evil. And the much hyped or talked about the Saturn and Rahu conjunction in, Pisces, you would have seen. You can see it here. See,
Mhm.
Saturn is here. If you see my cursor, and
Yes.
Rahu, they are both sitting in the 11th house of India. Okay, 11th house is the happiness house, so to say. It's the happiness house, but they are in conjunction along with Venus, another functional malefic. So Rahu and Saturn and Venus combination, they have been very deadly. As you can see, what is happening in Murshidabad and what happened just now in Kashmir. Okay. And then here comes Mars, another functional malefic planet, because it is the lord of the 12th house. It comes and sits. This is the transit chart for this. This is the transit chart for 1 second. I'll just, this is the transit chart for, one second, I'll just update it. This is, one second. Now, this is the transit chart of India for the 22nd of April. You know,
26.
something that happened in
Sir,
something.
26th है, you have to change to 22nd. It is showing date as 26.
नहीं नहीं, ये यहाँ हमने कर दिया, ये
Okay,
कैलकुलेट पे हमने
okay,
क्लिक कर
sure.
दिया ना, तो ये आ गया. It has
Sure.
come here. Okay. So Mars, you will see Mars is sitting in the third house. India's Lagna degree is 7 degrees and 46 minutes. If you watch the cursor here, the original Lagna degree is 7 degrees 46 minutes. And Mars, the number one functional malefic lord of the 12th house, it has come to the third house, which is the house of your neighbors.
Correct.
Okay, it is the house of neighbors, and it is impacting the midpoint. Okay, very, very closely. And Rahu from here by its fifth aspect, it's casting its aspect on Mars, which is a very deadly aspect. Okay,
Correct.
Rahu is at some 2 degrees and odd, and Mars is, so the orbit of influence is about 5 degrees.
Fine.
And Rahu in conjunct, Rahu is aspecting Mars. Okay, Mars is aspecting
Moon.
the 9th house, the Bhagyasthan of India, and the 10th house, which is the government, your treasury, and this is also the your government, your treasury, everything. I'm talking politics, okay, mundane astrology. So Mars is aspecting that. Rahu is aspecting Mars. Venus, Rahu, and Saturn, they are sitting together here in the 11th house of happiness, ruining all the happiness. And this, this will continue over the next 1.5 to 2 months. Till, Rahu and Saturn, they separate. And once Mars is out of the, sphere of influence of the third house, till then that, and the impending war, etc.,
By 18th May,
it's
this is the
sort of almost inevitable. And Mars, to aapko pata hai kya hai na? It is the planet of bloodshed, etc., violence, and you can see what is happening. So this for you is mundane astrology. Okay.
This also signify that my India might attack in some way to
Yeah, that's what that is inevitable. Mars, Mars for India, that is going to give you that. And third house, by the way, is also your house of courage and initiative.
Correct.
So Mars, whatever it is, its Karak Tattva is, it's the planet for courage and initiative and the drive to do something. And third house represents that. So whatever is happening or whatever is on the horizon, it's very, very much there for everyone to see. I mean, viewers, this was very, very technical, but then they must have got the hang of it. That what I mean to say is, how, like there was a question, by why these, something was going to happen that all of us, all astrologers,
Predicted.
and America, I'll just close this chart. I'll just close this.
I think in last podcast, Girish, I already predicted that the chances of war and this close conjunction till 18th May can be really stressful for the whole world.
Yeah, especially see United States, the United US chart. I don't have it with me, but the ascendant is Cancer and Saturn is it is the most malefic planet for United States of America. And it is sitting in conjunction in the 9th house along with Rahu. And see what is happening in America also. Okay, see what's happening there also. And say India and America, and what's happening all around in the world. This conjunction of Rahu and Saturn, which is going to be wrapped for another till the month of May.
18th May.
So things are not going to, sort of going to settle down easily. Oh, yeah, Girish.
Yeah, thank you, sir. I think that gave a lot of insight into what is happening in around India and in the world as well. I think Aditi, you wanted to share anything on top of that, or we'll just probably see if there's any time to take other member questions on the YouTube comments.
Uh, I can share one chart where I can show
And
how.
Aditi, I'll just 1 second. For there was some technical glitch, with us. The earlier YouTube links were passed on to so many.
Uh,
If all of us
Mm.
had passed on. So, and the last minute, we had to, put up a new program. There was no time to send the new links. So, this program is being recorded, and whoever could not access this directly, then the recording will be shared with them. So, we
Yeah.
are extremely sorry for, to have kept you waiting, and that was purely because of a technical glitch. Maybe because today is Saturday, and as I said in the beginning, Saturday,
Yeah.
Shani and Rahu sitting together, and on a Saturday, maybe, and Saturn as it is a planet of delay.
Yeah.
It doesn't let anything happen in time.
so
Okay.
numerology also I said no 26 total is 8. 8 is
Eight, yeah.
so everywhere Saturn is not, it's a Kal. You cannot get rid of it. He's always with you. It's a time. Um, I'll quickly show my screen to show you one chart where because I'm into Yogini Dasha as well nowadays. So I wanted to show one chart where I predicted a person was jobless for a while, not while, 2, 3 months, and she reached out to me saying that she's not, she has to leave her job because of toxic environment without any other offer in her hand, and she came to me, and just very quickly, I wanted to show that I predicted her that. She will get her job starting from 27th of January to 25th of April 2025. According to, see, it will be technical to show, but Yogini Dasha works on D10 chart. D10 chart is your career chart. So how you can say 27th of January, and she got her offer letter on 27th of January only.
Oh, great, great.
The same day she got the offer letter.
Oh,
So
excellent.
how, if I could, but see, the calculation is not 1 plus 1 2.
Yeah.
So the number can go wrong according to how you are analyzing. That's why I say astrology is not a problem. Astrologers can't get it
True,
because
true, true.
it is a very complicated study, Vedic astrology. That's why Sir said Vedic astrology, you need years and years, need to analyze
Yes, true, very true.
that. But yeah, how this is how it works. So wanted to show this. So anyone has any issue with job, and if they wanted to see job change, marriage, or any other consultation, and we offer a discount on the basis of how, like I said, she was jobless, so she was given a discount. So you can reach out to me. I'll share my details and Rajiv sir details as well. And anyone want to learn astrology, highly recommend Rajiv sir. He is starting a new batch, and you can reach out to
Yeah,
him.
I'm starting a new batch on KP and Vedic both. And Girish, I think, are we running out of time?
I
Because
think we were originally planned to do it till 12. I think we are now 12:20 here in UK. So I think,
just, yeah,
yeah.
I just
Started
wanted to,
late.
I'm
Started.
very surprised that there are no questions pertaining connected to, there are no questions on the stock market. How I, because I, day in and day out, I get, I get, people asking me, sir, do you predict the markets? So since this is of, general interest to most of people who would be watching us, and people who are interested who play in the stock market, just one thing, markets we don't predict. It's very difficult. It's a part of mundane astrology. And on a daily basis, it is actually your chart that you have to play, not the markets. Whether the market is up, the market is down, you can make money in both. As you would be aware if you are trading or investing. It is your chart that you have to study. And I can very well tell you very confidently that if you know your chart, and especially through KP astrology, on a day-to-day basis, you know whether you're going to lose on the stock market or whether you're going to gain on the stock market.
Mm.
I do it. I was, I've just started my new batch. So, I knew which day people are going to join and which day the money is going to come into my account. I knew it. And which day was going to draw a blank for me. That also I knew.
Yeah,
So don't pay.
you told me that this your time is starting. You last week you told me
Yeah,
this.
I know my Venus. My Venus,
But
by the way, I'm a Taurian, but then there's a lot to. I said Venus is a bad planet for Taurians, but not always. Venus Antardasha is on the horizon for me, so I know. And if you join my classes, then how astrology is stunningly correct. Only then, not in this 1 hour podcast. We can't. I mean, we have to do it through examples. So I knew, when the money was coming, when the money is going out, वो बोलते हैं ना बाएं हाथ खुजलाता है and दाहिना हाथ खुजलाता है तो पैसे आते हैं या जाते हैं. तो आपका चार्ट भी वैसे है. अगर बाएं हाथ खुजला रहा है तो you look at your chart. If you know astrology, आपको पता चल जाएगा आज का दिन आपका कैसा है. Not only money, otherwise also how your day
yeah,
is going to be. You can gauge it on a daily basis and live your life, live your day. And let me tell you, small day-to-day events. This will be of interest to you through KP astrology. What is going to happen after 2 hours
mm,
when the courier man is coming to your door, when you're expecting guests, what time the guests are coming, your child is going to school, the bus has not come, what has happened. All that you can find out through KP astrology.
yeah.
Okay?
And it helps Girish.
Aditi will bear me out because she did my classes.
Yeah, yeah. That's why I said highly recommend his class.
And cricket matches also can be
Cricket
predicted.
matches.
Both of us, we predicted the India-South Africa World Cup final.
Yeah, we predicted that. Girish, and it is actually helped me, especially in the bad time. Next 6 months are bad for me. Just calm down, sit, don't do many things, just don't put too many efforts, just let it flow. So you know that, and it helps. So
Yeah. I think the issue is, Aditi Rajiv sir, people have been misguided with the remedial measures and all those
correct,
things, So I think that is one where people have lost a little bit of,
Yes.
faith in
I'll,
astrology. Yeah.
yeah, I'll just caution people to be very, very careful on the remedial measures, especially when you are now wearing gemstones. You
correct.
don't be fooled by I don't hold my words back. Don't be fooled by the old time pandits. Okay,
Yeah,
old time वो जो मंदिर में बैठे होते हैं पत्रा लेकर के ना, don't be fooled by them.
correct.
Will take you for a ride और वो उल्टा stones पहना देते हैं और उसका उल्टा असर होता है. I'm sorry हिंदी में बोल जाता हूँ मैं कभी कभी. So don't be fooled by them. Okay, remedial measures. There's no harm if they suggest a prayer or a mantra. वो उसमें कोई problem नहीं है. Go ahead with it, or a
Yeah,
charity. That doesn't boomerang. But
Mm.
gemstones can boomerang. So be
correct.
very, very careful. Okay.
Thank you very much, sir. Aditi, for taking out your precious time from your family life and coming and sharing your thoughts and valuable suggestions. So I know, it will be much appreciated. A lot of people, because of the confusion, could not join live, but then they'll be able to catch up on the recording. Saturday we did practice, a couple of times earlier, but somehow it didn't work, as you said, number eight, Shani.
Divine intervention, Girish, and there is something good in that, believe
Yeah,
me. You'll
yeah,
understand afterward.
yeah.
Thanks,
Okay.
special thanks to you, Girish, for
Thank you all.
organizing this. So for
Chaliye,
being a
namaskar
good
to all of you, and thank you so much
host.
for watching. And any of you interested in learning astrology, you can get in touch with me through Aditi or
Thank you.
through Global Indians.
Yeah.
Namaskar. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you all for people behind the scene as well
Yeah,
who are
Vivek.
supporting, helping, Vivek and all the
Big thanks to them.
admins.
Thank
Take
you.
care. Bye bye.
Bye.